So among North American native bee species, again, with sufficient data to assess, more than half are in decline, right? And we think about the overall picture, nearly 1 in 4, so 25%, is imperiled or at risk of extinction. So what can we do about this? What are the opportunities for us? Well, it's important to first realize that pollinators need 3 main things. They essentially need access to forage for the entire growing season. They need this access to nesting sites, which is very important. And then finally, protection from just pesticide drift and disturbed habitats overall, right? So let's take a look at the first one here. Access to forage for the entire growing season. So basically, like many folks are familiar, the mantra of real estate is location, 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 right? Well, the mantra of pollinator habitat is diversity, diversity, diversity. I cannot stress this enough. Remember when I told you earlier that pollinators, we talk about them almost as a monolith, as one thing, but of course, pollinators are comprised of many, many different insects, right? So it's important to understand that these insects have different life cycles. So for instance, one moth or bee or beetle might emerge in the early spring, live its entire life, reproduce and die by June, right? Another bee or moth species might not even emerge until June or July, live its entire life, and then die sometime in the fall. So it's important that we have a diverse mix of native species, and again, we prefer local ecotype, but importantly, it's got to include at least 3 early, 3 mid, and 3 late flowering species. Again, we don't want to have plantings where everything blooms at once, maybe in a 2 to 3 month time frame, and then there's nothing else available for forage the remaining part of the year. So again, diversity, 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 right? And when we think about a mix of flowers or forbs and the grasses, we really want to try to juice that to the flower and forb angle, with at least 75% of that pollinator mix being the flowers and forbs. Understanding that over time, sometimes the grasses tend to dominate, right? So if we can juice that up front, we can really help to keep those flowers and forbs on the landscape. Finally, a mix of colors and heights. Again, diversity all around. We want to be providing a diverse forage mix all the way essentially from April till the end of October.